Hey Natalie, how you doing?
Um, I've been better. How are you?
I'm good. What brought you in? I know you said that you wanted to chat about something that's been bothering you.
Yeah, honestly, what I'm about to tell you, like this has been like weighing on my mind like very heavily. So I definitely appreciate you taking the time to listen to me. I know it's kind of last minute, but I definitely need to like hash this out with you.
Of
Um,
course.
so basically, I've kind of told you about this client prior. They're kind of a newer client. Basically, like my whole time with them, they've been a little bit like impulsive, not violent, but just like kind of just doing stuff on the whim, basically. And I actually just had a session with them earlier today and made some remarks that like I didn't really know how to take them. Basically, so we were kind of just chatting about stuff like what's going on, and they started talking about this one individual in their life that they just like you could just tell like this person gets to them, like their whole like demeanor and everything just kind of changed. And they kind of like yeah, I was like, "Oh, like okay, like I don't know where this is gonna go now." And they kind of like made a statement saying that the person would regret what they did. And I was like, "Oh, I'm like tell me more about that. Like what do you mean by that?" And the client has mentioned too, like they kind of know this person's routine and like they definitely seem like they're close to this person and like know a lot about them. Um, so I definitely was just like kind of taken aback. Like I was just like, oh, I'm like, okay, like my wheels started turning in my head, like of all the school training and everything. And I was like, okay, like let's just make sure there's not a direct plan and all that. Um, so yeah, he didn't really have a direct plan, but I was just a little bit concerned about the fact that he knew like their routine and everything like that, and he kept insisting like he's not going to do anything, he's not going to do anything. But yeah, I'm
Mm,
just really unsure about how to go about it.
okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that does sound like a situation that would leave anyone with questions. And it sounds like you're in a position where you're concerned about the information that you received and you're thinking that there could be a risk of harm to someone else and you're wondering about what your next steps would should be ethically
Mhm.
and legally perhaps.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because, like, I know, like, the code of ethics has, like, been ingrained in us. So I know the duty to warn and everything. So I was just wondering, like, is this a situation where, like, I should be going that route? Or do you think, like, it's not that, like, high risk?
Yeah. So what exactly did the client say about this person?
So basically, it's like a colleague that they work with, and I guess something happened at work, and like it really just rubbed the client the wrong way. I mean, it's kind of been building up a little bit. Like I've heard about this person like in previous sessions, and he was just like, "They're gonna regret what they did." And then he's like talking about going to work tomorrow and seeing this person, and like I didn't hear like any specific plan, but I was just like, "Oh, like." It was just like the phrasing was what concerned me.
Yeah. Okay. And what was happening in the session when you were with this individual when they were saying that?
Basically, I kind of just asked them about their work day, and then I could just tell he got like super like worked up and agitated about it, and that's when he like made the comment. So it definitely felt like it was coming from a place of hostility. At least that's how I interpreted the situation.
Okay. And then what did you ask after they'd made that statement, that comment?
Yeah, I was basically like, so like, what do you mean by that? And he's like, oh, like it's nothing, it's nothing. Like I would never actually hurt them. And I was like, okay, like, are you sure about that? Like you haven't thought about hurting this person before? And he just kept insisting that like it was just kind of coming out of a place of frustration, but just like the whole situation felt weird to me.
Okay. So it sounds like you did explore a bit whether they had thought about it or had contemplated how they would harm this individual.
Hmm.
And what assumptions do you think you're making in this moment about the level of risk for this client to actually
Um,
follow through with this harm.
I definitely think I'm assuming the worst. I'm kind of just taking his word at face value and not like actually thinking about like, oh, like he doesn't have a plan. Like he kept insisting that it wasn't like actually gonna result in anything physical or like actually manifest like that. So I guess when you put it that way, I can definitely see myself kind of making assumptions about the situation.
Yeah, understandable. And what, just thinking about that scenario, what other information do you feel would help you in deciding what to do moving forward to decide if there is serious harm or risk there?
Um, Probably like what would constitute like serious harm or risk? Like what would the client say that would be like, oh, like we gotta like figure something out?
Mm. Did the client express any timeline or plan for when and he would like to harm this individual?
Now that you say that, no, not really. Like now that I'm really thinking back on it kind of sounded like a heat of the moment type of situation, just because the way the rest of the session went, it didn't like feel like it kept escalating. Like it kind of just calmed down after that. Like I feel like he just had to get it off his chest now that I'm thinking back on it.
Yeah. And I mean, again, rightfully so that you were concerned about that, Natalie, but what are, just thinking of kind of the ethics around the dilemma, what ethical standards or principles might apply in this situation?
Yeah, definitely like privacy and confidentiality. Like I'm like, okay, like am I going to break confidentiality to tell the individual that the client's talking about that like something might happen to them? Um, Also just like the duty to warn, like, is this my responsibility ethically and legally to tell like the individual or tell someone that like something might happen? So I guess those were the two that came to mind.
At what point do you feel that confidentiality shifts toward having to having to break that confidentiality and having the duty to warn the other person?
Yeah, I definitely feel like if the client like actually laid out like a concrete plan to me, like he was like, okay, like tomorrow at 10 a.m., like I'm gonna meet so and so at their car and I'm gonna like punch them or something like that, then that would definitely be like, okay, like he's actually thought it through, like there's a plan, he's like actually going to commit to this and do it.
Okay. Yeah. So based on the facts that you have and the knowledge that you have right now in this moment, do you feel that we have evidence of this individual being at imminent risk of harm?
Um, Honestly, no, after kind of reflecting on everything, I don't think this would constitute the duty to warn or anything like that.
Sure. Sure. Okay. And now what what are the two scenarios that could play out here in having the duty to warn, following through with warning this individual, or not following through, letting things lie the way they are and continuing sessions with the client?
Yeah, so if I were to warn the individual and nothing did happen, then I could definitely cause like an escalation between the two of them because then like this individual knows that the client like has expressed this to like someone else. Um, but then also if I don't say anything, um, well, nothing could happen, so that would be great. But also there is the risk of something taking place and then me feeling super guilty about the whole situation.
So, in the next session with this client, how could you learn more about the level of intent with the concerning things that he stated?
Yeah, I definitely think I could just explore the relationship between the two of them more, just like ask them more about the individual, like how long this has been going on, how often like they ruminate over like what's been going on between them and the individual, because that will definitely tell me if like this is really weighing on the person's mind and they like actually really might follow through with it.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. So it sounds like in this moment, then, Natalie, that we're kind of in a place of needing to gather some more information
Hmm.
around the situation, around the threat, around this individual's thought process. And you're rightfully concerned about that for ethical reasons, for legal reasons. But
Hmm.
it sounds like moving forward, you are acknowledging that there isn't an immediate danger in this moment and that there is a future need for gathering more information.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with you on all of that, and I appreciate you kind of talking it through with me. So,
Yeah, yeah, of course. That's what I'm here for. So it sounds like next step is to meet with this client again. And you stated what you needed to do in gathering some more information about that situation and assessing the level of risk and safety. How do you feel about that after talking that through?
I definitely feel more comfortable with the situation. I feel like I have a better handle on it now.
Great. Okay. All right. Well, I hope that that was helpful. And definitely don't hesitate to continue to come to me in the future if anything comes up in session that you're questioning.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Natalie. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.